If you are heading to Vietnam, there's a good chance that Ho Chi Minh City will be one of your stops, and so here are 6 things that you can do when you're in Ho Chi Minh City. Starting off this list is number 1, to go check out some of Ho Chi Minh City's walking streets. So primarily there are 2 different walking streets in Ho Chi Minh City. You have a Windway walking street, which is a bit more family friendly. It is also a good time during the day and of course a good time at night as well. And at this stage in my life, it is the one that I personally prefer. That being said, if you are younger or maybe you're older but you just like to party, there's also a Bin Voi Street, which has all the different bars. It's really loud music. It's like a carnival parade all in one. It is a very cool street to go down. It's somewhere that my wife and I went in the past when, well, I was a bit younger and she's somehow exactly the same. But we've enjoyed ourselves back then, and it's definitely worth checking out if that's the type of scene that you're into. Now, if you party a little bit too hard, well, that brings us to number 2, because the next day, maybe you can go check out some of the amazing temples that are in Ho Chi Minh City. Now, overall, Vietnam has many different beautiful temples, and Ho Chi Minh City is no exception. There's the Jade Buddha Temple, which has a carving of Buddha out of jade, which is absolutely stunning. There are temples where multiple US presidents have visited. There's even a Catholic cathedral left over from its French colonial past. Now, after exploring temples, you will probably be hungry, which brings us to number 4, enjoying the amazing, delicious food. So Vietnam overall is very well known for its food and its food culture, not just the amazing freshness and taste, but also the presentation and the experience. Now, I recommend for sure hitting up some of the street vendors for some quick snacks. They're also very affordable and extremely tasty as well, even though it's like they're fast food. Now, later on in the evening, or if you're in the mood for slightly more expensive food, but absolutely flavorful, amazing experience, I recommend going to the restaurant Nang Hang Long, which has multiple types of dishes ranging from, well, the normal traditional Vietnamese style, as well as Chinese food and a vegetarian offering. The atmosphere and decor of the restaurant is very beautiful and unique and really has a good vibe to it, and the food is, well, spectacular. Now, once you're filled up and maybe want to walk off some of that food, then you can go to what else Ho Chi Minh City is maybe the most famous for, which is shopping. There are a crazy amount of malls and different things that you can go to. Now, if you want the best fakes in Ho Chi Minh City, this is the Ben Thanh Market, and it's definitely the place for you. Not only does it have incredible fakes, but it also has pretty much all the different memorabilia and souvenirs to take back home. And that is why, personally, I recommend, especially if you're flying out of Ho Chi Minh City, waiting until basically the last moment to go buy your different souvenirs and gifts. That way, you're not having to walk all around Vietnam and bring everything with you and pack it and repack it, and you can travel light, but still get pretty much anything that you could want. And you can also very much bargain within the Ben Thanh Market, and I absolutely recommend it. Now, maybe if you aren't as cheap as me and aren't looking for fakes, you can go to one of the higher end malls. There are multiple high end malls within Ho Chi Minh City, but one that I do recommend is Saigon Central. It is an 8-story mall. It's a pretty incredible food court area. Another shopping mall that you can go to actually is going to make the number 5 spot, because it is much more than just a mall, and that is to go see Landmark 81, which is the tallest building in all of Vietnam. At the bottom few levels, you have a mall. It has an ice skating rink. It even has a Singapore style walk through different vendors' restaurants. Not only that, it is also a very unique experience if you do decide to go up on the higher levels. You can get some incredible views of the city, and if you want like a very high-end restaurant, you can even enjoy some food out on the upper deck. And if that wasn't enough, Landmark 81 also is a hotel, so it's a very expensive hotel, but if you would like to stay there, that is, I'm sure, absolutely beautiful. I've never stayed inside the actual hotel, but on the outskirts of the hotel, they have multiple different high-end apartment buildings, which I have stayed in, and they were absolutely beautiful as well. Now, moving on to number 6, once you are done seeing, well, the modern side of Ho Chi Minh City, then I think it is worth taking a step back, checking out some of the history of Ho Chi Minh City and Vietnam. There is the Independence Palace, which has some absolutely stunning architecture, as well as some history lessons that you can learn there. And if you're willing to, well, drive about an hour outside of Ho Chi Minh City, I recommend going to Ho Chi, Vietnam and checking out some of the remnants of the war. You can see some of the tiny tunnels that people had to crawl through, which, you know, some of my size could definitely not have made it, as well as you can see some of the ingenuity that people had to build underneath the ground to be able to hide, and also digging out long chimneys so smoke would be in a different place and could keep people concealed. It really just shows the resilience and ingenuity of the Vietnamese people. And it also serves as a reminder to see, well, where Vietnam has came from and how fast it has developed to where it is now. And I do also think that it's worth noting that people that maybe we would have viewed as, you know, enemies 50 years ago are allies today. And I think that story and message is just important for us to consider today as well ever before. But those are just 6 things that I think you could do and enjoy in Ho Chi Minh City. Drop in the comment section below and let me know, are you traveling to Ho Chi Minh City? Are you excited? Have you been there in the past? What are some of the things that you would add to the list that maybe I didn't think of? If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And until next time, peace.